Yeah, buddy. So I'm gonna respond. I'm just gonna be completely direct and forthright because my energy, like I think we can all do it. But one thing that I'm decent about is when I see people, I can read like the energy. I don't see the auras. My brother actually sees core like colors and shit for people's auras. Like he will actually see the different changes in color based on the emotions is associated with people. Now it's different with everybody because some people project a lot more than others, and some people project different colors than others, and different shades and hues and intensities and all this and that. I don't see that. But what I do, my thing is I pick up on the feeling behind stuff. This is why I'm pretty good at like detecting when people are lying. Because it gives off a certain vibe. It's literally like smelling a certain scent. Like I could just pick it up. Like I could be blind and fucking not seeing anything and being aware of what's going on, other than me just being in that room, and that will be enough for me to detect whether or not I feel like there's a lie that's been perpetuated. So there's a YouTuber by the name of AAHANA, AAHANA. I think I don't know. I might have misspelled her name, and if I did, I'm sorry. I've actually been subscribed to her or known about her for years on YouTube. I remember when she has like 30,000 subscribers now. I remember when she used to have like 700. So, anywho, and I'm gonna say this because I feel like she just dropped a video. I feel like I am like the large source of her making this video. So this is exactly why I'm making it, because I feel like she's literally just made a video because I feel like she has some bent up like thing against me. Like it's really strange because I've hardly talked about this chick like. But again, because I make videos every single day, you all be watching me, or I don't know who did, but there's people who watch me every single day, and I've been doing this for years, so I can see how like it's just strange because I'm sitting here just expressing myself, and I have no idea how you guys. It's a weird way of communication that we're living in. So. Anyways, let me just get to the point. So she just made a video talking about how she's generalizing, and she even talks about how she's generalizing. But because I feel like it's specifically directed to me, or because of me, or I'm associated with this in some type of a fucking strong way, like a very strong way, like I'm visibly like shaken up a little spiritually because of what I just saw. And I'm frustrated for a number of reasons. First of all, I'm just gonna say this. I haven't been saying it. I've been feeling like I should say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's like, you guys have so much time on your hands. It seems like you do. I mean, you have, at least I should say this. You have enough time on your hands to make these wild generalizations and assumptions about people without even knowing that you're right or wrong. And you're coming off from these things like you're in some super high fucking and mighty pedestal. And it's like, hey, maybe you're right. Who knows? I don't know. But the one fact does remain is that the children are still fucking dying every single day, and you guys are still continuing not to talk about it. But yet you can find enough time and energy in your lives to talk about this type of shit. So that's one thing that pisses me off. So I'm sitting here listening to this person make all these wild fucking generalizations and assumptions, which I feel are largely fucking stemmed or sourced from me. They won't tell me about it or include me into the conversation or even ask me questions. Instead, they just make these wild accusations or assumptions, and then they make a video about it because they feel some type of a way. Because I can see the feeling like in her, it's just permeating from her. So the generalization is this: that essentially dudes who watch porn are kind of gay. Are kind of gay. I think that was all the title was. And then I listened to maybe 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes tops of her video, and I stopped it because I couldn't take it anymore. And so she then went into, and it's just first of all, this you realize as a female, you're talking about men as if you know what it's like to be a man, which is in itself crazy. Just like I don't know what it's like to be a female, and you guys do it with this confidence, thinking that you guys know and you're 100% correct, and it's just crazy because you really don't know at all. Like you're literally talking about another gender that you are not in. You are in a female's body. That's all you really know about is being in a female's body, and you're making these wild assumptions about a fucking another gender that you are not in, and you're saying it from this place of fucking like a assurance that's like, wow, this is fucking nuts. It's especially nuts to listen to those things as a man and know that she's wrong. And again, she was generalizing, so she said, but I think she's wronger than she thinks. And even if she's right, like the way she's going about it is in this extreme. It's not helpful. Like it's being very hateful. Like you can tell she's got some bitterness towards men. And again, I feel like I'm a part of this. So this is why I'm making this video right now. Oh, dude, it's just ridiculous. Fucking A. And again, meanwhile, we're talking about this type of shit, and children are continuing to suffer and die. It's just like this is the problem with our societies. We care more about this type of shit than we do about fucking dying children. Ew, it's like it disgusts me to a point. It does, but I'm just gonna do what I gotta do because this is where we're at. This is what you guys are choosing to largely talk about. I'm sitting here like, why can't we just talk about these fucking kids and our dying planet and the animals? And then maybe if we focus on that and stop fucking arguing about all these petty fucking dumbass things, then maybe somehow, some way, everything will get healed. If we take care of like one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem on the planet, because I know it will work, because in doing so, we will learn to work together with ourselves and each other in a loving way and in a good way. We will actually devote our attention and our lives, energy, and soul to a good purpose that's beyond ourselves and our own selfish, egotistical desires. But when we continue to talk about these types of things, like the video she just made, even if she was right about everything, it's still completely ego-based. Like she's not helping anything, except maybe making a female feel better. By how? By saying that, oh, this is the reason why there's so many fucked up dudes, because they're so into pornography that they don't care about regular females anymore, instead of addressing the root cause of the problem, which is that our society is largely corrupted by our fucking egotistical, selfish desires. It's on both sides. It's the male and the female side. We're all fucked up, and it's like, instead of trying to solve the problem and nurture the problem as a female should, she's just sitting there pointing the finger and being all hateful and bitter and just hellfire, fucking just grossness. So anyways, now that I've vented, let me go ahead and just get to the nuts and bolts to the fucking argument here, because I guess this is where we're at. So this is what I got to deal with. And then once I get this out, maybe I'll feel a little bit better, and eventually I'll get back to the project. But it's just people are being misunderstood. And it's when you don't even take the time to try to understand somebody, especially when that subject is right there within reach to be understood, or to at least you spend the effort to inquire into a person. But you guys won't even do that. You guys just continue to make up your own fucking conclusions without even asking. So that's another level of frustration. And then your conclusions are actually wrong. And of course they're going to be wrong because you're going about it in the wrong way. If you really cared enough about the situation, then you would take the time to actually investigate in a proper way, which is to ask. But you don't. So you're making an ass out of yourself, because that's how assumptions, when you make assumptions I make assumptions because I have no choice. The particular person doesn't allow me to see what the fuck she does all the time. She keeps me blocked. Okay? I can't contact her on Facebook. She keeps me blocked. But then she continues to do things, both in the ethers and also in the physical realm. She used to do stuff to my YouTube channel all the time. It's just crazy, dude. And instead of trying to solve the problem in a good and healthy way, you guys sit there and you just like condemn and you misjudge and you misunderstand and you make people feel like shit. And it's just like, it's disgusting. And meanwhile, this whole time she's sitting there playing the victimhood card, and you guys are catering into it and fucking feeding her and enabling her. And it's not helping her. It's not. She needs a little bit of tough love. I'm sorry. I've known her for a while, and it's not helping. If it was helping, she wouldn't be acting the way she was. She'd be actually helping and healthier than she has been. Maybe she has made some progress, but she's still in the shit and shower because I just got a comment from her saying that. So it's like you guys are attacking me because you're seeing me do good, but yeah, I can't be doing good because I gotta be this transsexual fucking obsessed faggot who watches fucking porn all the time. It's essentially what you guys are assuming. And it's like, you don't even care that I'm sitting here spending so much time and effort working on, ways to solve the fucking, starving little children. Instead, you choose to focus on this, which isn't even true. And I'm going to say this. I haven't watched porn in, it's probably been over 4 months. I haven't watched it since I got out of detox. I know that. And it's been months before that. I was already on a downward. This past year has maybe been a handful of times I've watched porn. Now, I used to watch it fucking multiple times a day. Yes, I admit it. I did. But you know what? I've never done a gay thing in my life, and I've never fucking had a gay desire in my life. And I've been around gay men who've wanted to do stuff with me on multiple occasions. And I've denied them all because I'm not gay. I do not have a desire to suck, cock or fucking take one up the butt. I don't. It does not do anything for me. I think it's actually kind of like crazy. I'm like, damn, you guys are fucking, It's a little disgusting. I don't even like anal sex with a female anymore. I used to, but not anymore because I've changed. But I've never been gay. I've never been bisexual. I've never been gay or any of these things. I look up to other men because of what they can do. I wish there were more men. That's another reason why I like strong women, like Joy, and yeah, I said her name. Oh my goodness, and others like the Draconian Priestess, and at a time, Ahana, although not so much anymore because the way she's reacting at a place from, she's wrong first of all, and then she's extremely bitter. She's actually turning a lot into how a particular person is from the energy reading. When I look at their faces, it's a very similar type of bitterness. And I know that they're also both very sexual people. And the thing about Ahana too, I know that she's had, well, I think she used to watch porn. I know she's had a masturbation problem. So I'm assuming she's probably spent a good time watching porn also. So it's like, it's just like, it's ridiculous, dude. So, anyways, let me try to wind things back. So the reason why I'm getting better about it, and I go through phases. Like when you don't have much going on and you're alone and you've dealt with like abandonment issues, like I've been abandoned by people that I consider to be somebody I consider to be my father. He had over $4,000 of my money that we were supposed to get an apartment together. And I was on Oxycontin at the time. He knew about it, so I was in a bad spot, but I was working, and I'd also given him a ton of money, and he wasn't working, by the way. I also helped him. I mean, I got a place pretty much for him to stay at because he got kicked out of his home, and he was in a rough spot, and he didn't really. It was kind of shaky where he was going to go next. So I saw an opportunity with another friend I up here to get a place, and so I did so largely because he would have a place to stay. My former friend. So he comes up here, and then we hang out. I work. We get that place for a while. He ends up getting a girlfriend here. He stays with the girlfriend for a while, but then that goes sour, so he has to move. And at the time, he has over $5,000 of our collective money, over about $4,000 or so, a little bit more, I think, was from me. And then he had his own chunk of change that he put into it, and we were supposed to use that money to get an apartment for us. And I was going to leave my parents' house. I don't even know how old I was. I must have been 30 maybe, or maybe even a little earlier than 30. It must have been like 27 or 28. It was a while ago. Shit, like 10 years. Anyways, so we were going to do all that. And he was staying at my parents' house at the time. And he ends up going to Arizona, thinking it's going to work best in Arizona. And he fucking leaves me, goes to Arizona, tries to make it work in Arizona, doesn't work out in Arizona. Meanwhile, this is all, he's running around the whole time on our dime that I've collectively given to him. It's supposed to be used to get a spot for us. And what he ends up doing is wanting to come back here to Oregon and try to make things work in Oregon. And I'm like, dude, you were just here in Oregon for fucking months and it didn't work. And it's like, now you want to come back and my parents aren't cool with you coming back. So then his idea is I'll just sleep in the car. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work. I told him no. And once I did that, he decided to cut me off. I think the next day he was like, you know what, Brian, I've profited more from this relationship than you did. And, it's pretty much, goodbye. You're on your own. Goodbye. And I was like, well, can you give me the money back? I asked him. He's like, no. And that's when he brought up the profiting. He said, I profited more from this relationship than you did. And I think the next day he turned off his phone, got a different number, kept all the money, and left me at my parents' house on my own while I was on Oxycontin. I just quit my job, and I went into the darkest place I'd ever been to in my fucking life, man. I really lost all hope. I remember, like, my dad's friend, who I knew pretty well, like, he'd seen me years and years having fun and talking and shit like that. I mean, when he came to our house, visited while this was happening, I couldn't even, like, talk to him or look at him because I was in such a fucking miserable state of being. I couldn't say anything to anybody. Like, I looked up to this dude like he was my father, and he straight up abandoned me and fucking wrote me off like I was nothing and just left me fucking to die. And that's when I found 13's videos. And it's from there, that I was like, okay, well, this is what happens. And 13 talks about how that happens to people. Like, a lot of times seems to be a pattern, that type of shit happening, getting betrayed on, getting left on, getting abused, getting fucking manipulated. All these types of things seems to happen to people in a similar situation to me. And then he also talks about how we came here for these reasons to do these things, and it's because of our beauty and our love and our goodness that we get attacked so much, because we're in a realm that's controlled by evilness and badness. So that goodness, whenever goodness is here, it's attacked viciously all the time, constantly, because it's a threat to the badness. anyways, he goes into the, healing the body and why we're here and indigo children and the mission and all this types of stuff and how we're supposed to just help raise the vibrations and fight back against these evil motherfuckers. And we've been doing it for some time, and we come here and it's like a swiping of the memory, and they program us to be more low vibrational and all these other things and da-da-da. So like upon watching his channel, it perpetuated me and gave me enough, good energy to grow out of my depression. And, I've been doing so ever since. But so that happened to me, getting abandoned. And then the thing with Joshua, like it didn't go well with him. It's been that way with numerous people, and a lot of it's because I don't speak up enough. And then so I think it's like because people don't appreciate me in a way that they really liked my company. It's largely what they can get out of me. And so I think as an adaptive coping mechanism, I used to, I try not to anymore, but I used to be a conformist. I used to try to just kind of just do things to get along with the moment in a good way. I wouldn't actually be my real self or speak up for myself in a real way because I was afraid of like not fitting in. Because like, from where I come from, all I want to do is talk about like, how, just have a good time with everybody, love everybody, and spread love to the rest of the world and do all this and that. And like in this reality at this time, that's a very foreign thing. That's not something that's appreciated or looked up upon or something that people like. Like that's something that's made fun of, especially as a teenager growing up in Phoenix, Arizona. So, I stopped, essentially doing that. Instead, just tried to have fun with people and go along with the moment in whatever type of way it was going to help complement it and essentially take my ego out of it and just be a part of the moment. But in doing so, you lose a sense of your reality. And then when you do that, you're also, because I want to be a part of this thing with all these people and stuff, yes, I'm like, I want them to like me because I want to be a part of this. I don't want to be lonely. I've always wanted to have friends and all these things and to feel affection. And like, because I'm an outsider and so different, it's like I feel that I have that desire is so much stronger inside myself. I don't like having it now, and I've learned through the years not to have this, desire to want to fit in. And it's because I'm also an empath, I'm also very sensitive and susceptible to feeling other people's pains and emotions. And that in itself, like automatically, develops a closeness with other people because you can feel their pains. So you get to know them at an intimate level very quickly. And because of that also is why I think a lot of times people have a very easy time confessing and opening up to me about some of the most deepest stuff in their lives because they feel that closeness too. But because of that, like, so I'm also like, I want things to be good and pleasant all the time. So when things aren't good and pleasant, or when somebody doesn't like me, I take it as me not doing my duty and doing my job the way I should be doing it. Because if I'm here, then everybody else should be feeling good because that's what I feel I'm responsible for. So if people aren't feeling good about it, or if they don't like me, or something's not going my way, then I'm doing my job wrong. Thus, I have issues. I don't like that. I don't like not doing my job right. So I react to it in an unfavorable manner. But that's where I've learned to, separate, the duty of making, upholding the vibrations of the moment in the best way that I can. And then also, separating that with like people just like, whether or not they want to be my friend or not, or liking me or not, like getting over that, like not like there is like an inner desire to want to help everybody, but I can only help those that want to be helped. And not everybody wants to be helped. And like a lot of those people that don't want to be helped are the ones that make fun of you, don't like you, ridicule you, or put you away, or try to hurt you. And it's for them, it's just give them their space, love them from afar. And that's something that's taken me a lot of time to learn. And I'm still in the process of it. But because I've spent so much time in my past and I'm still getting out of my own isolation and seclusion here with my parents and doing what I'm doing, I still have, desires to want to fit in, and I still get affected when people, do things that hurt me. And part of me feels like I should, but I shouldn't let it affect me in an unhealthy manner. And that is nothing but my fault. But that doesn't make me gay. It doesn't make me fucking weird. I mean, it can make me weird, but it doesn't make me gay. Like, I'm not gay. I have not a gay bone in my fucking body. And I've never been into transsexual porn. Although I will say this, when I was watching porn, a lot of times that chatterbait shit would pop up, which I found to be incredibly gross. And a couple of times, I mean, you can't help it. If you look into it, there's transvestite site all over it. You can't miss it. It's just there. And there is a weird fucking it's a weird thing, dude. Like it goes into the Baphomet. Like they I think they put a literal spiritual fucking spell on these pages. And when you go into these fucking porn pages, depending on which page, that chatterbait one is highly associated with that male and female fucking merging, which is what a transvestite, those, yeah. Anyways, it's gross as shit, man. And all I'm saying though is like, if you like, be careful going into porn because it can lead you into that way. And I think they do that. That happens because people get so bored with just the same shit that there develops a sense in themselves to seek more. So then that's when they start getting into, crazy shit like transvestites and just, some of the darker, it just keeps getting darker. And then eventually it gets to fucking, child pedophilia. But it starts with porn, it's, so it's probably, we should make it illegal. So, but anyways, all right. I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.